Guys, like, comment, subscribe, share the video, especially if you love college football as much as I do. Okay, let's talk about Oklahoma going to the SEC along with us. Um, Listen, Oklahoma lost Dylan Gabriel. That is a big part of their team, and I like their new quarterback. And I know it was just a bowl game that he hadn't played all year. He was a freshman. But he looked very turnover prone. I just don't know if Oklahoma can fix all that. Usually, if that's what a player is, that's what he is, usually. But we'll see. Let's look at the schedule. They also went and got a new defensive coordinator. They got Zach Alley. I don't know much about him, but clearly anything should be better than what they just had for their defense. That's funny. Even though they had that defense, they still beat us. Anyways, their schedule. They have Temple, Houston, and Tulane at home. 3 wins they should have, even Tulane. Yes, 60-0 over Temple. I see them having a 38-6 win over Houston and a 52-14 win over Tulane. This is where it gets real tricky for Oklahoma. Look, I get it. Here's the thing. Oklahoma has been recruiting good. Brent Venables has recruited pretty well on the defense. So, but now that since this is his 3rd year, I expect it to show a lot. Usually that second year, it doesn't really show as much. But now it really should start to show because, again, this is starting to become his team, not Lincoln Riley's team anymore. Because, with Lincoln Riley, Oklahoma never had a defense. I believe you'll see it in this game against Tennessee. I'm about to say at Tennessee, but Tennessee comes to Oklahoma. Oklahoma's first ever SEC game. And I believe they come out on top. They win 35-28. I like Nico, whatever his name is, for the Tennessee quarterback. He was a highly recruited player. I think it was a 5-star, right? Really good player. But I believe Oklahoma wins. I think Oklahoma's defense shows up and starts to make more plays. Again, I don't think it'll be an elite defense, but I think it's going to be a better defense than what it's been in the last several years. And I think that is the difference in this game. So I got Oklahoma starting off 4-0, probably in the top 10 somewhere, as they should be. They have a really good football program. They always have, They're at Auburn. Listen, I think Oklahoma is better than Auburn. And I believe they have better players than Auburn and all that good stuff. But listen, playing at Auburn is a different animal. You don't believe me? Just ask Georgia and Alabama. Both of them struggled at Auburn this past year. And, both teams had at least 12 wins or more this past year, right? Both had great years. One of them made the playoff. One of them got kicked out the playoff for, obviously favoritism reasons. I think Georgia was good enough to make the playoff. But, again, playing at there is a different animal. Auburn could have and probably should have beat Alabama. Had a chance against Georgia, too. My point is, better teams have gone to Auburn and lost at Auburn. Oklahoma, you're not one of those teams. I'm sorry. I think you catch your first loss, 31-24 over there. Look, Auburn has also recruited pretty well this past year with Hugh Freeze. This will be his 2nd year in the program. It'll start to become his team, his program. And I know Thorne was not really good at passing the football last year, but Auburn went out specifically, got some more wide receivers. They got some running backs for him to use and play with. So Auburn, they always are going to have a pretty good defense. I think their defense and their home field advantage gets this win. Again, you could beat Auburn. I wouldn't be surprised if you did. I mean, you're Oklahoma. You win a lot for a reason. But I got Auburn winning this game in a huge upset. Shout out to them. Then y'all come back and play us in Dallas, and we're going to get some payback. I got us winning big. You don't have Dylan Gabriel anymore. Your offense is going to be more turnover prone. Without him, your defense, I don't think it's going to be good enough to stop our high-powered offense, whether it's Quinn Ewers or Arch Manning. We give y'all a big, fat 41-17. You're now sitting at 4-2. You're about to be 4-3. You come back home to take on South Carolina. Again, another situation where I think you're better than South Carolina. You have better players. But Shane Beamer, this is his program. This is about to be his fourth year with South Carolina. And look, despite going 5-7, I believe he's better than anything they've had. Okay? Not a knock against South Carolina, but that's kind of what it is. I think he's a good coach. He can win games. But even before this past year, he had back-to-back winning seasons. He was good enough to knock off a top 5 Tennessee team, and he was good enough to go at a top 10 Clemson team and knock them off out of the playoffs. He's going to knock y'all off too. 24-21, y'all lose. I think y'all take the back-to-back losses to Auburn and Texas really hard. You start to question yourselves. And South Carolina, although I don't think they're a better program than you, they end up finding a way to win. And then y'all go on the road at Ole Miss, another loss. But although I know Ole Miss's offense is going to be really good, I'm not impressed with their defensive coordinator hire. He's why they lost 2 games this past year. And he's what's going to give y'all a chance to win at Ole Miss. Now, if this game was in Oklahoma, I would have picked y'all to win. But Ole Miss wins 35-31. Now, listen. Y'all losing 4 games in a row. Any of these 4 games you can win. I think you're better than Auburn. You have owned us in the last several years. You're clearly better than South Carolina. And this Ole Miss game is very possible. I don't think you win any of them. But it's possible you win. You're now sitting at 4-4. But listen to these next 4 games. Maine, big win, 58-10. At Missouri, I'm not expecting much from Missouri this year. I think y'all win that one, 38-35, and a close one. You could lose that one. And then you finish off at home against Alabama, and then you go on the road to take on an LSU team that I think is going to be really good this year. I think you lose at LSU 28-27. I think LSU is just a little more talented than you are on both sides. Again, you guys have recruited great in the last few years on defense, and I think it'll show this year. But LSU is LSU. They've always had elite players. And I think Brian Kelly, I trust him more than I do Brent Venables to take his team to a championship level than y'all do. Again, this is a possible win for you guys. Y'all definitely can play with anybody in the country, so if you were to win this game, I wouldn't be surprised. And then it comes your Alabama game at home. Your Super Bowl. You guys are winning. Look, I don't care what Alabama has. They have a head coach, a guy that has given up 37 points per game each of his 9 losses or whatever it was. He's going to be okay with giving up points. Oklahoma, you guys love to put up points on people. His defenses have not been good. You're going to be able to score. This is a home game for you. This is a big game for you. I know Alabama, I picked them to go 7-5, but Alabama's Alabama. Anybody's going to show up to play them, whether they're 7-5, 12-0, whatever the case may be. You guys win 35-28. I believe they have their defense won't be able to hold up. Jalen Milroe, look, bless his heart. I think he's a really good football player. Heck, he got better last season as the season went on. But he's still not Michael Penix. My point is, he's not going to win every game for you. And he won't win this one for you either. So, at this point, I have you guys going 7-5. Look, I know I'm a Texas fan. You're probably going to talk trash to me in the comment section. Go ahead. I really don't care. I know y'all have owned us for the last several years. We've only beaten you twice since Tom Herman got hired. Before that, y'all kept spanking us. But listen, 7-5 isn't bad. And to be honest, I don't think Texas is going to be a playoff team or anything like that either. I think we'll be in a little bit better shape just because we've recruited really well on both sides for a while. And Sarkisian has took us to a playoff. Y'all haven't been there yet, but you could one day. I just don't think it'll be this year. Now, look, again, at Auburn, I think you're better than Auburn, even though I have y'all losing because things happen over there. Texas, y'all have owned us in the last several years, so what's one more year? From that point of view. South Carolina, I think you're better than South Carolina. You definitely can beat Ole Miss and LSU. So, worst case, I have y'all at 7-5. I just don't see you guys handling your first year in the SEC very well with all these programs getting better, like Auburn, South Carolina, in my opinion. Us, we want payback for last year. Worst case, 7-5. Best case, who knows? Maybe you go undefeated. Who knows? Very possible. But who knows? But yeah, that's it.